navigating it pretty smoothly. Can I ask you, this is a question that comes often when Zoom is trying to class together, are you trying to class all of Zoom together, or are you trying to class people in space? I found myself very distracted trying to figure it out, and I saw Sarah doing some very intricate counting, and I'm like, what is happening? No, I well, I mean, I'm actually really glad we had this class this time because, like, it happens every week, and I never understand why. Right, which is really cute and nice. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, that's not wow. He's slightly complicated, but it's also good to you. Do you feel like soon people are losing some trust? Do you feel like that is fair? Well, I think people didn't like my car. That's why. People didn't like my car. I also noticed. I also noticed last week people were not as talkative in general. There was a lot less conversation happening. I just let's keep checking in about like what's working and what feels like it's a different other time, and we'll just yeah. Well, I did not realize that. I'm gonna miss being out with people again. So thanks for loving me. Oh, anyway, thank you so much. No, I know. I'm grateful to volunteer for anybody. Take that. Bye. No, I mean, it's, it's a good thing we're approaching the holidays every other and we are fine. So much love to you both. Thank you so much for all your holding. And see you on the other side.
It's like very spacious up here.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just like there's not like 10 people. It's a combination. It's like where's the 7 guitars? Yeah, I've been in those meetings before. A couple of meetings questions. Mark that.
Me, Jeremy, and Larry.
Who are showing me?
Yep.
Yeah,
And so we'll do the same thing for Auto D. I'll go out and make sure everything's fine there, and then
it's amazing. And we have a payment family that appears to be very late. So that's okay. It
okay.
means we might
Keep an eye out.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep an eye out for a
Oh,
notice.
for it's the payment.
Exactly.
And then Jeremy and I will be here tomorrow.
That's okay. And what about the time you're going to be taking off to not be here?
I have come to accept that it's not going to happen
In the short term.
Yeah.
And are you able to sustain that?
I'm pushing through it.
If that is not possible, I want you to please stop because you should. This is not a thing that you need.
Well, because high holy days and everything coming up. So
No, it's a lot, but I want you like please hear me.
okay.
Please, and I'm like taking this so seriously. Please hear me. This is not something. This is just your food.
I did read a new book that like totally like changed my whole like that one Permission to Believe. Holy crap, blew my mind. Like this, I grew up with an atheist science father, and and it actually took all the science and said, here, you can still believe. And I'm like, oh, so yep.
All right, Joey, shall we get this party started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here, so let's find a starting key that for sure. Let's start it off right. Is it?
That goes pretty high, alright. So let's take it a little lower.
Okay.
Yeah. Give it a try.
So you were.
I can even make it a little lower if you want it. Maybe that's good. Let's see how high it goes. Good by you?
Okay, good. We did it.
Ya la la ya la la ay la la ay la
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome everyone to Shir Tikva. My name is Rabbi Ariel. I have light skin and long curly hair, and I am smiling big because I'm so glad to be here in this space with you. I'm standing in front of our beautiful bima, and I'm so grateful to be leading tonight with...
I'm Rabbi Joey Glick, also long curly hair, glasses tonight, also a big old grin. I'm so happy to be here.
So a word of thanks as we begin. Since November 2021, our amazing community leaders and musicians have been collaboratively holding our Shabbat prayer space. This feat of strength and courage demands enormous thanks from each and every one of us, and especially from the rabbi who has been buoyed by all of those amazing musicians and leaders all of these months. I cannot tell you how powerful and crucial it has been to lead with you, to be inspired by the music you've shared, to be lifted by your generous spirits. You have showed up each week as faithful volunteers, as skillful musicians, as prayerful souls, and you have made our community shake with the beauty and the honesty and the humility and the love of your prayers. So thank you. And why am I thanking you, Davka, tonight? Why on this night of all other nights? Because my thanks need to be so enormous, so full that they overflow the banks. But I'm thanking you tonight because this is the first Shabbat since I arrived at Shir Tikva in August 2017 that I am holding the bima simply with a rabbinic colleague. It's the first time. Yeah. And so I mark this moment with wonder. Exactly, yeah, whoa! And I mark this moment with wonder. This chance to learn how to lead and daven with Rabbi Joey, with gratitude for our prayer leaders, who are the channels of our community's prayer. Rabbi Joey and I, in the coming months, will take sporadic opportunity to lead together, just the two of us, as a way of learning in public, as a way of honing our collaboration together. We want to learn with you, here in the doorway of Shabbat, because that learning is also prayer. We offer our reaching for new forms and new ways of meeting each other to this community as a way of getting to know us better, as a way of inviting each of us to do our work to lift up the whole with our voices, our intention, and our presence. Kind of amazing, no? So as we open our service tonight, I first want to ask, is there anyone who's in the space tonight for the very first time? New visitors to Shir Tikva, welcome, 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 yay! Yay! Is there anyone who's here who's returning for the first time since COVID? Wow, this is amazing. It's incredible. I've been asking this question every week since April 15th when we came back, and there has never been a service where we haven't had someone new and we haven't had someone returning, which is remarkable. Really remarkable. So I would like to invite us on the newness of the two of us being here together, on the newness of people visiting and people returning. Let us say Shehechianu, which is found on page 344. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Of course there's a baby that comes in right at the Shehechianu. Hi, Lyra. So as we open our service, I want to invite each of us to welcome ourselves into Shabbat. Let's allow our prayers tonight to be a sound bath, to allow this space on Zoom, on YouTube, on 50th Street, to embrace us. All of us, each of us is welcome. Our tiredness, our joy, our rage, our hope, our questions, all of us is welcome here on Shabbat. So as we open to Shabbat, let us welcome ourselves and each other into this moment. Let's just look around for a moment. And on Zoom, I invite you to wave to each other, to beam love. We're waving to you too, yay. It's my joy to invite Levi. Are we still waiting for you now? Do you want to come up and light up? We're going to invite Levi Paczynski, who is becoming Bar Mitzvah. he's in the process already, but tomorrow we're going to call Levi to Torah to light the Shabbat candles.
The blessing can be found on page 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu
Shabbat Shalom. Mazal Tov. Mazal Tov to Levi, to Zach, and to Tova, and to your whole families. Yay! We see you over there so proud. What an exciting time. So let us continue now inviting each other into song. L'chun Ranena, page 12, or number 3 in our online Sidur. L'chun Ranena L'Adonai Nariya L'Tzoyishenu Nekadem Afanav B'Todah Bizmirot Nariya Lo L'chun Ranena L'Adonai Nariya L'Tzoyishenu Nekadem Afanav B'Todah Bizmirot Nariya Lo Yalla la ya yalla Yalla la ya yo Yalla la ya yalla Yalla la 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 Yalla la ya yalla Yalla la ya yo Yalla la ya yo Yalla la 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 la
We turn to page 13, number 4 on the online. Shiru l'Adonai, shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz.
Shiru l'Adonai, barechu shemo, baseru miyom liyom, Yeshuato.
Sapru v'goyim kevodo, bechol ha'amim niflotav.
Ki gadol Adonai umhulal meod norahu al kol Elohim.
Ki kol Amim Elim L'Adonai Shamayim Asa.
Hod v'hadar lefanav oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho.
Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz yiram hayam u'eloho.
Yalo sadai v'chol asher bo az yiranenu kol atzeyar.
Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz.
Yishpot tevel betzedek ve'amim be'emunato. Ay la 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 la. Ay la 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 la. Ay la 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 la. Ay la 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 la. La 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 la. Ay la 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 la. Ay la la. Page 17. We're going to sing these two lines of Romemu. Let's lift it up. So if you look, there's the very bottom of the second paragraph starts Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, and then the very bottom paragraph also starts the same way. We're going to sing both of those lines. Look at that. Wow. Romemu, Romemu, Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ishtachavu lehadom raglav kadoshu. Romemu, Romemu, Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ishtachavu lehadom raglav kadoshu. Romemu, Romemu, Romemu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'ishtachavu lehakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, yalalai, 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 yalalai,
We turn to our purple sheets, number 1, number 6 online. Anamekoach gedulat yemincha, tatit zerura, tatit zerura, kaberina, rinatam chasar venu, Dareinu Nora Hana Bekoach Gedulat Yemincha tatir tzerura, tatir tzerura, kabel rinat, rinat amcha, sagreinu, tareinu, nora, ay, 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 oh, ya, da, da, ya, ya, oh, ay, 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 oh, ya, la, la, ya, 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 da, da, ya, 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 da, da, ya, 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 da, da, ya, ya. Ay, 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 oh. Hanna bekoach gedulat yamincha, tatir tzerura, tatir tzerura, kabel rinat, rinat amcha, sagveinu, tareinu, nora.
Just going to invite us to take a moment to take a breath and take stock. There are parts of us that are still in the catalog of the week, the like brrrr of the week. What can we do to let it go? To invite the week to pay us leave. Just, you can go. Thank you, week. Thank you very much. And let us, as we sing L'Chadodi together, can we invite the space that the week that is leaving it leaves for us, the space the week leaves behind, let us fill it with Shabbat. Let us invite Shabbat to just come take up residence there and then spread and fill us all the way up. So let us turn to page 20 together. Let's...
L'Chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. L'Chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor Ishmianu El HaMeyuchad Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad L'Shem U'Tiferet Ve'elitila L'Chadodi Likrat Kala Penei Shabbat nekabela L'Chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelchakim mekor ha'beracha v'rosh mikedem nesucha sof maaseh במחשבה תחילה L'Chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. L'Chadodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Mikdash melech עיר מלוכה קומיצי, מתוך ההפכה רב לך שבט, בעמק הבכה והוא יחמוד עלייך אלה. לך דודי יקרא קהלה, פני שבה נקבלה.
Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela, Hitari me'afaku milivshi bigdei, Tifatecha mi'al yad ben Yishai, Bet halachmi korvael. Nafshi ge'ala, Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela, Lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Hitoreri ki va'orech, kumi uri, shir daberi kevod Adonai, alaich nigla, lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela, lecha dodi likra kala, Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Ay, 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 lecha dodi, ay, 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 likra kala, ay, 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 Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Ay, 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 lecha dodi, ay, 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 likra kala, ay, 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 Pnei Shabbat nekavela. Lo teboshi velo tikari, matishtochachi umatemi, bach yachesu hani ami, ונבנתה עיר עתילה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקרא כלה, איי 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 בני שבת נקרלה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקרא כלה, איי 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 בני שבת נקבלה. והיו למשיסה שוסייך, ורחקו כל בבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כבשוס חתן על כלה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקרא כלה, איי 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 בני שבת נקבלה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקרא כלה, איי 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 בני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי, על יד איש פן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 בני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצוהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה. איי 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 לך דודי, איי 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 לקרא כלה. איי 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 בני
Shabbat. Pene Shabbat nekabela. Ay 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 chadodi ho ho ho. Ay 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 likat kala ho ho ho. Ay 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 pene Shabbat. Pene Shabbat nekabela. Shkoyach, everyone. Whoa. And this is how the community splits. This is where that schism occurs. Folks can be seated. Oh my gosh. As our friends are coming inside, we'll take the next 4 minutes to go into breakout rooms for our Zoom folks and to get to greet your neighbors here. If you're feeling antisocial or just like some quiet time today, feel free to put your hand over your heart.
And if anyone would like to go see a rainbow, there's a beautiful rainbow right outside. The Shabbos bride left a rainbow as a...
Oh, hi Sasha, so good to meet you. Let me get this microphone. We move from the rainbow into the darkness. We'll turn to page 28, Rising in Body or Spirit, number 8 online for Baruch.
Yai la 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 la. Ay la 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 la.
Ay Adonai, ay Adonai, ay Adonai.
Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai, hamevorach, hamevorach, le'olam va'ed. Hamevorach,
Hamevorach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated.
We turn to page 30, taking a second to look at the windows, at the fading of the light, the coming of the darkness. Take a second to breathe in and out, blessing that darkness.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה ומבדיל בין יום ולילה אדוני צבאות שמו אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני המרי ורבים.
Turning to page 32, number 10 online. Let's take a second to call to mind a moment in these last couple weeks where we felt totally and completely cared for, supported. We'll take a second to breathe in and out, blessing that experience of love.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו והם נגי יומם ולילה ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
Standing on page 34.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Let's continue in song on page 40. Ya la 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 ya la la la, ay ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ya la ya la ya la la la, ay ya la 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 ya la 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 la, ay ya la ya la 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 la, Allah ya la yo, ay ya la ya la ya la la, ya la ya la 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 la. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה ליענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאללה 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 לה לה, יאללה לה לה יאללה לה לה לה, יאללה 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 לה, יאללה לה לה יאללה לה לה לה, יאללה לה יאללה לה לה לה, יאללה יאללה לא, יאללה 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 לה, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל.
We turn to page 42, number 14 for Ufros Aleinu.
ופרוס עלינו סוכת, סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת, סוכת שלומך. Rabbi Joey and I are going to step away from our microphones, and I'm going to invite everyone who's on 50th Street to really sing loud, because what I know is that on Zoom, when there's not someone who's singing really loud into the microphone, all of our voices pass through. And so I'm going to invite us to create the sukkah of sound, this canopy or this shelter of sound, as our voices travel to our friends on Zoom, and just know that we are feeling you singing right back to us. But let's step away from our microphones and just let the room and our community sing to each other.
Su
Let us sing that tenderly, that sweetly, about our relationship with Shabbat on page 44. Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. As we prepare for a few moments of personal prayer, for time in quiet to find our breath, to find an honest thought, whether we're using the words of our heart, the words of our Siddur, or some combination of the two, I'm going to invite us to share aloud what we're holding on to, our through line of gratitude, what's happened this week, what's happened maybe in the last hour, who knows. Let's find a moment that really inspired wonder or gratitude, and let's share those moments aloud. And don't be afraid. As Rabbi Joey's been encouraging us, don't be afraid to speak over one another. Like, that's actually, it's collaborative talking. So let's hear. Tonight we're grateful for
students.
The great meal I had for myself.
the rainbow at Lacharodi. Bobby and Zeke. Levi Buczynski. So for all that we've said aloud and for all that we are holding in our hearts, I invite us please to rise in body and spirit and carry this gratitude with us as we begin our Amidah on page 46, and we'll gather back together in song on page 62. Adonai, Sfatai Tiftar, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sfatai Tiftar, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha.
Oseh Shalom Imramav. Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu.
Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel. Imru, Imru, Amen. We take time now to pray for healing of body, for healing of spirit, of mind and heart. So I'm going to look around the room and I invite you to share the names of people that you're praying for, that you're holding close to you, to share it aloud or to just really hold their names and their faces, their smell. Right? Just imagine them close. And let us all aim our blessings exactly where they need to go. So tonight we are praying for
We're about to the next. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. One of my favorite articulations ever of deep sorrow. Before I go on, I just want to say, like every week, that I have a chance to speak or write for you all, I try to say something fun and positive, and then I end up with first sentences like one of my favorite articulations of deep sorrow. So I just want to name that. One of my favorite articulations ever of deep sorrow comes from the song Trouble, written by Yusuf Islam, who at the time was known as Cat Stevens. The song goes, trouble, oh trouble, can't you see? You have made me a wreck, now won't you leave me in my misery? I'm beat, I'm torn, shattered and tossed and worn, too shocking to see, too shocking to see. Islam wrote these words in a tuberculosis ward at the age of 19, where he spent much of the last year fighting for his life. This song has two associations in my life. First, I use a slight modification of it as a subtle note to my partner that our dog is too smelly to sleep in our bed on any given night. Too shocking to smell. Too shocking to smell. The second place this song shows up in my life is a jam to listen to in moments of deep sadness, as a way of summing up that feeling that some of us get of being beyond a point of asking for help or being seen. I think in part our Torah this week is striving to be an answer for this brand of sadness. It's not a particularly fun or positive answer, but something powerful nonetheless. In short, Parshat Re'eh, our Parsha, provides an answer for how to see and feel seen in the shocking darkness. But before we get to any sort of big, soulful answers, we need to start with little textual, nerdy questions. We hear at the end of the Parsha that the Israelites are supposed to schlep all the way to the temple on a hill in Jerusalem 3 times a year for the Shalosh Regalim, the 3 pilgrimage holidays of Passover, Sukkot, and Shavuot. Since the temple has been destroyed, we of course no longer do this, but those days are still important holidays in our spiritual lives. The verb that our Parsha uses to describe this pilgrimage isn't to pilgrim, it isn't to schlep, it's yira'eh. The Israelites are supposed to be seen in Jerusalem. The Torah doesn't say that we should arrive in Jerusalem or pray or have a powerful spiritual experience. Instead, the text tells us that we're supposed to appear. What's the deal with this? Who's doing the seeing of us? Our little textual question and our big soulful answer to how to be seen in the darkness take us all the way back 1,000 years before the construction of the temple. Bereshit Rabbah, an early medieval compilation of midrashim, of biblical fan fiction, draws a hyperlink between this commandment to be seen on the pilgrimage holidays and the story of Abraham, the forefather of Israel, and his near sacrifice of his son, Isaac. So, let's go there to one of our people's most messy, messed up stories. Abraham is standing on a mountain with a knife raised over his son. God told him to come here, to climb to this special spot and sacrifice his child, Isaac. But a moment before Abraham can kill his son, an angel whispers in his ear, "Stop." Abraham pauses, he raises his eyes, and he sees a ram stuck in a thicket. Understanding floods into our weary hero. This ram, not his son, is the sacrifice that God now wants. As Abraham and Isaac watch this ram cooking, Abraham looks around and names the mountain where they stand, Adonai Yireh, God will see. And then 2,000 years later, we Israelites start appearing, we start being seen at the temple in Jerusalem, located on the very spot where Abraham named the very spot where Abraham almost killed Isaac. And we, here today, start to have an answer to our little textual question. Why are we supposed to be seen in the temple, and who does the seeing? It sounds like we're fulfilling Abraham's strange place name. We, or our spiritual ancestors, the Israelites, show up and get seen by God. But gosh, what does that showing up, being seen at this place of trauma, mean for us, for the generations left to fulfill Abraham's place name? To this final big question of the night, I want to offer one other nerdy grammatical answer. The verbs of Abraham's place name, God will see, and Moses' command, the Israelites will be seen, are both in a form known as the imperfect. This is a fancy way of saying the future tense, or the not yet complete. Not God saw or God sees, but God in the future will see. I found something about this not over yet-ness to be moving. A moment removed from nearly ending the history of the Jewish people before it could begin, Abraham prays, or maybe he demands, or he boasts to God, "You, God, you are not seeing the last of us. You are going to keep seeing us around." And then 1,000 years later, all these Bate Isaac, all these saints and sinners and grandmas and liars and lovers, all these children of Isaac, they start showing up in that very spot, and they get seen. Beyond the verbal tense, I think there's something else that is imperfect about this act of seeing and being seen. Abraham might be subtly promising that his descendants will not be so, quote-unquote, perfect in their obedience to God. Their spiritual posture will not be one of total service, of flawless sacrifice, but rather of simply showing up. To put it differently, we are not aiming for the best Jew or best servant of God superlatives, but simply the attendance award, most likely to be seen, even and especially when that showing up is challenging. And when we do this, when we're seen in all of our shocked and shocking imperfection, we establish a road away from the toxicity of the sacrifice of Isaac, away from any sort of perfection-seeking behavior or expectation. We say to ourselves, and we say to God, "We are so far from perfect. See us and deal with it." We'll continue with a blessing of the community, number 19 online and on our purple sheets.
So as always, invite you to cuddle up with the people you came with, to open yourself for blessing. And if you're on Zoom, I invite you to share your blessings for community, that we might receive the blessings that we didn't even know we needed. Hamalach hagoel oti, Hamalach hagoel oti mikol ra, yevarech et hanearim, v'karev bahem shemi, v'shem avotai, v'shem avotai, Avraham v'Yitzchak, v'yidgul arov, v'yidgul arov, b'kerev haaretz. Yisimchem Elohim kesara, kerivka, kerachel uchelea, kefraim uchimenashe. יברכך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה, יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום. יללי, יללי, יללי. May we all have a moment to step outside and take a deep breath of fresh air. As we begin Elul, may our search go deep, our journey meaningful, marked with profound honesty, guided with loving hearts and gentle spirits. May our healing be complete. May we continue to feel sweetness in resonance with one another. May we breathe in this beautiful earth. May we nurture her, each other, ourselves with deep love. May reconciliation be as alluring to us as conflict. May we be able to take in the love that is handed to us. May we be nourished by the harvest of our land and of our souls. May we appreciate the color green outside. May we seek each other as we connect and form stronger community. May we enter Elul with resilience, love, and healing. May we be just as loving to imperfection in ourselves and in others. May we know we're never too shocking to see. May we let ourselves be seen and held even when we feel jagged and imperfect. Ken yehi ratzon. Ya la la, ya la, ya la, ya la, ya la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ay, ya la la la, ya la, ay, ay, ya la, ay, oh. Yesher koach. Let's move towards the completion of our service on page 284 or number 20 with V'hashevota. V'hashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim v'hashevota el levavecha ki havaya hi Elohim v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
We move towards Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 294 in your Siddur, 21 online. I'll read the names of folks that we're remembering tonight. And then at the end of this list, if anyone has a name on their heart that they'd like to bring forward as well, you're welcome to. If I read a name on this list or you bring forward a name that you'd like to say something about, just a brief couple sentence story about them, we'd totally love to hear it. I'm still working on who's who in this community, so please, if you have a name, big hand motions are useful. Tonight we're remembering within the Shaloshim for Freda Raver, beloved of Mary Small, Lois Weisberg, mother of Mark Weisberg, Mel Ornstein, father of John Ornstein, Jay Binder, Jane Binder's father,
My father was a salesman by trade, and he made friends with everybody he met. He loved people, he loved food, and he loved his family, and I'm not sure in what order.
Going down. Jay Gordon, Jane Binder's grandfather.
All I can say about my grandfather is everybody who knew him loved him, and for good reason.
Eva Bronstein, Andrea Rubenstein's aunt. Trudy Engel, Steve Engel's mother. Oh, I'm so sorry. Mark Feschbach, David Feschbach's father and husband of Andrea Feschbach. Tom Foster, Beth Fox's father. Rosalind Geffen, Stephen Levy's grandmother. Jesse Gomez, Jack Bethke's grandfather. Jay Gordon, Roberta Jackson, Sharon Jackson's mother. Irene Jesse Carlane, Hirsch and Lily Berman's dear friend. Ida Lipton, Miriam Weinstein's grandmother.
My grandmother began her life in Romania, and it was a tough life. Her own mother died when she was very young, and she was raised by the prototypical wicked stepmother. So she didn't have much example of nurturing, yet she grew up to be a very brave, bold, loving woman who raised 7 children in a tiny little town in Wisconsin where they were the only Jewish family. Who knows why?
Eliana Marani, Emma Nicosia's grandmother. Christopher Rolson, brother of Linda Yesnes, uncle of Forrest. Joseph Rubenstein, Jim Rubenstein's great uncle. David Skadron, Maury Hartman's grandfather. Penny Teichman, Steve Teichman's mother. Dorothy Warm, Rosie Math's grandmother. Channing Weiner, Dan Trockman's uncle. Rachel Wicks, Jessica Wicks' mother. Any other names folks are wanting to bring forward tonight?
My great uncle Ralph was mentioned week before last because that was his yard site, but I wasn't here, so I wanted to say a few words about him. To keep it to a few words, I wrote it down. Ralph was born in 1892, and he was a first or second generation Minnesotan, possibly an undocumented one. And he enrolled as a journalism student at the U of M. He left school to enlist as an officer in the final year of World War I and became a pilot. He died on August 12, 1918, flying with the 17th Aero Squadron, and he was 25. They named a park after him in Bemidji. It's still there. So I mention him because his nephew, John Daniel Gracie, was my father, and he was born on the Iron Range 4 years after Ralph's death. And our dad took after his uncle in his interests and his love of flying. As it happens, he was also a student at the U during World War II, and he also enlisted during the war as an officer and also became a pilot, military pilot. But my father was fortunate to live to be 88 and have a rich and rewarding career and family life, including having my sister, my 2 brothers, and me. Looking back, it's no surprise that he never took any of those blessings for granted. And today, actually, would have been his 100th birthday.
I discovered while going through my dad's stuff, who died about 6 weeks ago, that on his Google Calendar was the note that this is the week of his grandfather, or of his, grandfather's yahrzeit. So my great-grandfather, R.H. Emline, who was the first of 3 generations to run a fur and coat cleaning and storage business in Sioux City, Iowa, and for whom my father, named the store that was the first factory seconds outlet store in the Midwest in 1985 in downtown Sioux City, Iowa, of all places. So RHM line.
This is my exercise.
My really good friend and college roommate, Judith Giller-Leinwall, passed away this week really suddenly, and still very shocking to me. But she was just a light in this world, and she loved music, and she loved Judaism, and she cared about other people, and she went through a lot of really hard things in her life, and her way of processing that was wanting to be a hospital chaplain so that she could help other people in the way that people helped her. And yeah, I think that she was just such an incredible, exceptional person, and I'm very sad that she's gone.
My friend Emily Sky Mills passed away this time last year. And she was a bright light. She loved everyone, loved everything, just absolutely passionate about connection and chosen family.
Is there anyone else?
Philkins, Paczynski, Philip. He was a kind, loving man. Oh, help me out here. Levi's grandfather was 80.
Let's take a moment just to breathe in all the love we've received from these folks. Also, just the sorrow and grief of the loss. Let's take a breath in and out. Thank you to the Zoom folks for sharing in the chat as well. We'll turn to page 294. Yid Gadal,
V'yikadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ve'amad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Kudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran ve'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav.
Ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yeshvei tevel.
V'imru Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. May all those who mourn know comfort and support. And may those that we remember, may their memories be a blessing. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom, everyone. I just want to say thank you first to Paul for sponsoring today's Oneg in honor of your great uncle. What a gift. Thank you so much for sharing his story with us and for being here. It's such a joy to have you, and thank you so much for feeding our people tonight. So we mark tonight the beginning of the month of Elul with so many programs this weekend. It's like a Shir Tikva Elul bonanza. So I'm just going to take us through some of what's going on. So tomorrow and Sunday at 8:30 in the morning on Zoom, we will sing festive songs to honor the new month with Rosh Chodesh Hallel. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., we have an Elul edition of Song Circle right out on the Minnehaha patio. Sunday at 4 p.m. at Loring Park, we'll be gathering together in person for Shofar Bakihila, our first chance to hear shofar in person. And you can hear Rabbi Joey tell a story. Fun. And it's Forrest Yesness's debut on the shofar, so come to support Forrest, please. Indeed, no pressure. Starting on Monday and going through Yom Kippur at 7:15 in the morning, we'll begin our morning slichot practice of singing reflection and more shofar. And we're thrilled this Shabbat to celebrate the Bar Mitzvah of Levi Paczynski. Yay! We're so excited to get to call you to Torah tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning. Be there or be square, either in person or online. And before that, at 9:30 a.m., please join us outside for Tat Shabbat. So much going on. I was not exaggerating. And please, get ready for our high holiday blast. We're about to let you know have you been wondering what we're doing? Have you been curious?
I've also been wondering.
That is not a good sign, Rabbi Joey. So it's coming next week. So please keep checking your inboxes, refresh, and also look on our website. It'll be happening in the middle of the week. I'm not going to tell you what day just because that's too much pressure. But it's coming, people, and we're really excited. So good Shabbos. It is so, so, so sweet to be together. Levi, can I invite you back onto the bima for blessing our grape juice and our challah? So let's turn together to pages. We're going to go from page 5 to page 302, just like that, as we bless our grape juice and our challah. Will you be the blesser?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho v'ahava v'ratzon hinchilanu, Zikaron ma'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu b'charta ve'otanu kidashta, kim kol achim b'shabbat kodesh. Ve'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz te'avot. It smells so good. So Mazal Tov to Levi, Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Just a few words of thanks as we seal our service in song. Thank you so much to Gordon, yay Gordon, for all of your wizardry. Thank you so much to Sam and to Harry on the Zoom. You play it so well. Thank you so much to Lori Sweet, who puts together our transcript every week. Yay, Lori. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Rabbi Joey. What a gorgeous Dvar Torah. Thank you to our Shomrim, to Jeremy and to Shiloh and to Larry, who are holding it down tonight. And thank you so much to David Raskus for being our Oneg captain of the night. And thank you again to Paul Gracie for sponsoring our Oneg. Hooray, thank you so much. And thank you to Julie Jacobs, who, although she's not here, get ready for this. Julie Jacobs loves Shir Tikva so much that she came here early to set up the space. She then went to do what she's doing tonight, and she's going to come back later to make sure that everything's okay.
That is Julie Jacobs. And so let us just like beam like clouds of love to Julie Jacobs. My goodness. Yes, that's right. Clouds of love. So we will close in song with an, oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's a joy, a
And
real
Dave
joy.
Bailey for the delicious challah.
Yeah, oh my gosh, and David Bailey for the challah. Really so fragrant and delicious. This is how I enjoy challah, is by the smell of it. It's lovely. So here we go, folks. Let's sing our way home. Ya ya la la ya 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 la la ya ya la la ya 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 la yo ya ya la la ya 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 la la ay ya la la ya ay ya la yo ay 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 la ay 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 yo ay 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 la ay 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 la yo. Shabbat shalom. Good Shabbat. That was fun.
Thanks for the structure. It's just so fun to do this.
Oh my gosh.